Well, it looks like we're live. Let's see here. Turn that on. Save. And we edit this. Customization. Live chat. Save. Okay, that's muted. Looks like this camera's out of focus again. Okay, so we got to go to Stunt Hangar. At the bench. New topic. Monday night. Paste. Post. All right, links on Stunt Hangar. Okay, we got that. Here we go. I'm going to sit here and work on my perky parts. Got my fuselage pretty much sanded in. Had a little catastrophe with the wing. I'm on the third go around, but I don't think it's going to beat me this time. I figured out what happened was I'm using that resin on that 2-pound foam, and it was just melting that foam. So, new wings, the new plug is out of wood. And it's split right down the center, so I don't have to have a parting board. I can glue this right to the parting board, pour it, then peel this off, and then glue this one to this one, and then pour the top. I went and bought some automotive, catalyzed primer today, so that I don't have the problem with the primer getting pulled up by that resin. That resin is badass. What's up, Gary?
Hi. You'll make it.
Yeah.
You'll make it.
Got me aggravated now.
I know. But that's the way things work when they make stuff different. You have to experiment until you get it.
This is my third wing, third try. But as I was saying, this wing is solid balsa, and I'll just glue this down to the parting board, pour the mold, take the parting board off, then glue this to this one, turn it over, and pour the other side. Cost another $50 for primer today. That ain't nothing cheap. It's ridiculous.
You need a discount when you're trying to. When you're learning like that, you need to give them a discount.
I need a sponsor, what I need. I, I'm gonna have to sell a few of these just to recoup my funds. See, making the airplane's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Think
Just
about it.
get
Think about this. I've been working on this a week. I got a whole airplane here twice. I mean, here's the fuselage. If I'd have carved this out of wood, it'd be ready to glue the wing on.
right.
I'm gonna forego the fiberglass on this wing. I'm just gonna sand it and prime it and get it smooth and go from there. I'll have to put fiberglass on this though. The wing is the poured mold, like I showed, that black mold, because I want to be able to put this together accurately, and the fuselage will be a fiberglass mold, which won't be a big deal. I think we can get it from there. I'll put another coat of epoxy on that tonight.
So you're going to paint that your wing there before you pour it.
I
Right.
bought automotive primer.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
prime it, wax it, polish the primer.
all right. I
That way
hope
the
it
grain won't
stays.
show.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up, Steve?
Oh, more of the same.
Yeah.
How's tomorrow look?
Let me ask. I think it's okay. I think the days that were out were Wednesday and Thursday, but
Okay. Hi, Gary.
Hi. How's Steve?
he's-
How you doing tonight?
Steve wants to come over tomorrow. Is that okay? I mean, one's laundry again?
It's Wednesday or Thursday, one of these two.
Okay.
Well, it's perfect, I'm gonna go, it's my birthday celebration.
Do what?
I have a study out here tomorrow, so it's not gonna interfere with anything I got.
Okay. Yeah, tomorrow's fine.
Okay. So get the pontoons on the airplane so we can fly a booter.
Is it underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna crest at 28 feet Tuesday night at 7 p.m.
They want to build office buildings there.
Ain't gonna happen. That'd be stupider than even the government.
Well, it is the government.
Oh man.
I'd have to fill it in, build it way up.
They'd have to do more than that. And I don't know that they could build a levee on the Booter Park side because there's already one on the other side.
Want to know how good the government works? Today, our postman came in his own car.
Oh my. Oh, great.
I said, man, they run out of money. You're making you drive your own car.
Hmm.
I said, well, there was no trucks. Okay, whatever.
Wow. So did you make any progress on the wing there?
I've had one disaster after another.
Oh no, the second pour didn't work out?
No, I'll get it and I'll show you.
Oh man.
Okay, if you look at this, this is my wing that my mold that I made.
Yeah.
It got so hot it melted. It wrinkled it all up
Oh man.
on both sides.
Wow.
So
What is up with that stuff getting so hot?
just the way it is. Here's the mold. It would have worked, except that the wing melted
Oh man.
and took the paint right off the wing, and it got stuck to the mold. But I can
Oh,
get that
no, but none of the material escaped this time.
No, I got that down to a science. However, I can't use this mold because the wing is screwed up.
Oh man.
So the next trick, the reason why this mold melted, it's 2 pound foam. It wasn't closed cell foam. It was that foam for making a wing. If I'd have used this green foam, closed cell foam, it would have been all right.
Hmm.
So the trick is the new pattern is solid.
Okay.
So this will get glued to my board. That way I'll pour one half, then get it off the board, then glue this to this, turn it over, and then pour the other half.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I ain't getting hosed again. And I'm not using regular paint. I went to Sherman-Williams today and bought a quart of automotive 2K, two-part primer, catalyzed primer. So I'll paint it with that.
That like something you could paint an engine with at high temperature?
Do I have something?
No, is that paint you bought?
No, it's catalyzed. That
Oh,
means it'll be hard as a rock. It won't melt.
it won't melt.
The surface coat just got really super hot.
Hmm.
Dan and I had a discussion today, and I don't know. I made my mind up that I was going to go this route when that happened again. We're not going to get stuck this time.
All right.
This is going to be a cool little airplane if I can ever get my act together and get all the parts made. I mean,
Yeah,
I got all the plugs for it.
I see that.
How it's going to work. You know what the harder speed pan is, right?
HARDER?
HART. Harder.
Harter?
Yeah.
No. No, I never did anything with those kind of planes.
Well, I got a half A speed pan around here.
Oh, that one that's in the package that you got years ago?
Yeah, here it is right here. This is a harder speed pan.
And that's metal, right?
Magnesium, yeah.
Magnesium.
Mhm.
So I'm making a speed pan out of carbon fiber.
Okay.
So this pan will be out of that EPON resin, so that the front half right here will be the fuel tank. Actually, this will be a flying fuel tank, and the motor will bolt in here.
Hmm.
The stabilizer will be cut into the bottom on the datum line, and the horn will be sticking out the top.
Oh,
Then
okay.
out of the wing, the push rod will come out the bottom of the wing and be connected to the stabilizer so you can take it apart. 3 screws, 1 screw here, 2 screws here, and you can take it apart and undo the push rod and separate them to work. Let's say you want to work on the pan or whatever.
And that's the length according to the rules and the plan?
This is exactly to the plan.
Huh, I always thought they were shorter than that.
It is a little tiny airplane.
Yeah, guess it's those racing planes that are shorter.
And I've got it sanded to the airfoil of the spinner, so it's like a bullet.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, so, like I say, this will come apart like so, and this fits perfect. Really nice. The wings go approximately right there. See how tiny that airplane is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Except it'll go in there like so. I don't know exactly where.
Is there any deviation allowed?
Not according to the rules.
Not according to the rules. It's got to be exactly those, that shape, size, dimension, whatever.
The NASS Perky OTS speed rules is this is a one design speed event. The model is a 46 Matt Kenya designed Mergo Perky. The model must be built to the outline of the original 46 Mergo Perky design. Construction modifications are allowed. They had no idea that it would be a carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Model must be equipped with either 1.5 or 1 3/4 spinner. I got to have 2 wheels, 1 3/8 to 1.5. Suction fuel system, and the engine's a 15. Now, Mike today sent me a address of the guy. Of course, I got another engine coming. This all started out as kind of a kick to build for this engine here, this Cox 15,
Yeah.
as Rusty gave it to me.
But that's not going to be the one you're going to use.
That ain't gonna be the one I'm gonna use. Now, I got another one that's gonna be sent to me. From one of the members here.
Yeah.
And let's see. Oh, I got to read these here. Wayne says, like provided, thank you, like given from Roy. Jeff Strain says, hi everyone. I got a balsa something or other. I got a balsa wood plane to put together. Well, hurry up, get it together.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve Berry has given me an engine.
Oh, okay.
So I'll put that in it to start with, and we'll see how it goes. And then Mike sent me an address of a guy or an email of a guy who does FAI combat engines,
Yeah. I remember you talking about that.
Bill Maywald. He can sort of different versions of Foras. But I've never flown the event, probably won't fly the event. I'll have somebody else fly this thing. But I'd
Yeah,
like
you're allowed to have proxy flyer.
Yeah, but if we're making it, I'd like it to be competitive. But from what I understand, it really doesn't need to be the absolute fastest one.
No. There's something about the closest to average or something.
If I remember right, they were putting the propellers on backwards on one at Booter during the event.
Yeah, it was probably Fred because he was trying to pull down the average speed, which is kind of contrary to the spirit of the event in my mind.
Supposed to go as absolutely fast as you can go.
Right. So we won't be going out to Booter anytime soon.
Or how much water's on your field?
Well, it'll be several feet,
Wow,
probably over the top of the picnic table, but
that's quite a bit.
not
Mhm.
as high as it was that one year. The pavilion roof, all you could see was the very tip top of it. But 141, that's the one of the highways that Hooters in the corner of. Uh, it goes under 44, so it's a low spot. And at the 28 feet that it's going to, both the north and southbound lanes there will be closed because the water gets over there.
In 94, the water was up to the freeway.
Yeah, yeah. Parts of the freeway were shut down. Yeah, that whole area that's all built up off of 40 as you head out to St. Charles, where they built all that stuff up, all them stores, and that was all underwater. We had a
Well, that's what they
customer.
get for building on a floodplain.
Yeah. Well, they raised the levee, Monarch levee, I think. I don't know. I forget the name of it, but they had trucks going out there. It was like a train of dump trucks going out and dumping rock and whatever to build up that levee. But yeah, we had a customer out there that we were doing a software project for, and he just about put him out of business. Plumbing contractor, and that was before it was all built up. Steve Barry says, "Hi everyone. I'll get that engine shipped off tomorrow. Been running behind all weekend."
All right, thank you, Steve.
And there's Esteban. Evening, fellas. Let's go Blues. I guess he's still watching. They're on a winning streak, like 11 games, 12 games, something crazy for a hockey team. That's amazing. I have no idea what the standings are or when it's when the season's done or anything. Maybe Esteban will hop on and let us know. But if there's a game tonight, he won't be on.
Yeah, it's hockey's important.
Well, it is to him. He can't play right now because his knee's messed up.
I got to thinking about your engine predicament. I think we ought to just put it together and fly it with a 28.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Before no, before tearing into it or doing anything, you're absolutely right.
right.
I talked to Joe Gilbert the other day.
Yeah, he said he would put a bigger motor in it.
No, he said fly it like it is. He was doing some calculations based on I don't know. There's some kind of calculator or something on that innovative design
Yeah.
website, and it tells you how many watts you need for the weight or something. And he said it'd be at the edge, but it would still be within the envelope.
Well, I flew mine on a 28, but mine was,
Yours wasn't 70 ounces.
no.
So we'll just yeah, just set it up in the way intended and see what happens. Probably have to try several different props. But I'll set it up to run regular, not backwards.
I can always cut the nose off.
Yeah. And then we'll, that way I can use wooden prop. 'Cause I'm liking that on the Spectre. I really, and the, one I got, the badass one is wood on the, Blue Angel.
The rev up.
It's a badass prop.
Cause you had a rev up on it for a while.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow I'm gonna spray these primer.
Okay. And that's the two-part catalyzed that you're talking about?
Yep. I didn't even look to see what brand it was. I just said, give it to me. Let's see what brand it is. Prices are so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
This little box, 61 bucks.
Wow.
I got little mixing cups because we don't want to mix a whole quart. A quart of, okay, it is finished one, so that's good stuff. You're
There you go.
Hey guys,
Hi, Joe.
good evening.
Yeah, the Blues are playing the Jet, the Winnipeg Jet. The game just started, so Esteban will not be on.
What is that noise? Is that you, Joe?
Maybe I see.
You got TV on in the background?
Now that go away.
Yep.
The news is showing up right now.
Oh,
10 to 20 tomorrow. Terrible.
You escaped all the nasty stuff that came through?
Yes, we did. I was very
That's
tickled.
good.
I mean, it blew and rained, but no damage. No, yes.
Yeah,
Them
'cause it was pretty
torpedoes are
bad.
bad. Them tornadoes are bad.
and I was watching a YouTube video of guys there in Oklahoma that were chasing tornadoes. That
Yeah,
looked scary as hell.
Man, that can get you in trouble, boy. Oh,
the clouds
tor-
start turning like that, and then pretty soon, whoa, and then down a little thing comes, and then whoa, and it goes, there goes a house. Let's get out of here.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was one I was watching, and it looked like it was paralleling the road they were on, but then it started to take a turn, and they were running in reverse as fast as they could, and that tornado went over the road right about where they were originally.
I don't know how close you can get to that rascal. But some of that stuff, they throw stuff out of them, pretty good. Not
Yeah,
just the wind, they're chunking
it's the
the debris flying out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
you
far
see-
that can be, but I just
you
think
see, they've shown straws driven into trees
yes, absolutely.
from
Yeah.
yeah.
That's something put a straw through a telephone pole,
It
which
does.
I saw
Yeah.
a long time ago. Yeah.
I've seen it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see pictures or the house is gone, the coffee table and the Bible's sitting there. The whole house is gone. The furniture, everything's gone. The Bible on a coffee table. What? Oh, they're
Well, there's a channel on YouTube that a guy has a tornado bunker in the backyard, and the bunker is like just a little hole in the ground with a cement box. They crawled in that, and everything around it was gone except for that little box. He got his neighbors in there, and
Wow.
I guess that's a feature of living in Oklahoma.
them.
Yeah.
They're a tornado's a bad deal, man. For real, they're really, really bad.
Well, see, I had never been in one when I was in Ohio, and that tornado hit my apartment complex. I
Oh,
could hear
yeah.
it. I could hear it, and I just opened the door and I looked, and I go, "Man, it's windy out!" And I shut the door, went back to watching TV. I didn't realize a tornado had struck the apartment complex.
Yeah.
So lucky me, it didn't hit me.
They're
Yeah. We had, when I was still, a kid, living at home, we had this big cottonwood tree in our backyard. And, I don't know. I remember standing at the back door and my dad looked out and all I could see was this rain going horizontal. And then the next morning, this big limb had gotten twisted off of that tree and missed the house. We were so lucky.
oh, I tornadoes years ago. There was one went through Mapford, a big one. I don't know, quarter mile wide or wider. I don't know. Next day we got an airplane, flew out, circled it, and stuff, and we saw cars out in fields. And this watered the cars up. This watered them up
Yeah.
out the field, and the dirt. The wheat was gone. The dirt was there. The wheat was gone, and they come to a little blacktop road, and the blacktop was gone.
Mm,
It just pulls a blacktop off the road.
wow.
They're them big ones, a quarter mile wider. They can be that big here for sure. That they pull the dirt or the asphalt off of the ground, and the wheat just looked like you took a sieve and just cut it out. Gone, just dirt and wheat sticking up next to it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they can do what they do, but they're devastating.
Any
Yeah.
of them
Well,
ever hit that at the airport out there where your hangar is?
Yes, they've had them out there in the 70s. At least strong winds that tumped airplanes over. You know,
mm,
one time we had one coming toward our house, and Colleen was at work, and the kids and I got in the closet, and it didn't hit the house, but you could hear it going. Woo, 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 woo. It just wasn't on the ground.
mm.
It went right close to us, and there has been damage within what 6 houses down one time. Colleen,
Yeah.
there was
I
one,
don't-
but that, didn't hear that one.
I don't remember where I heard it because I didn't grow up in a tornado area, but supposedly when a tornado's coming, you got to open your windows to relieve the pressure on your house. Is that right?
That's what they claim. Yes,
Yeah,
for
I've heard
sure.
that too.
Harvey Sorensen, my friend in Nebraska, was in a hangar, and 130 or 40 feet away, his other airplane was in a different hangar. And he had a hangar that folded doors. They come and fold like that.
Mm,
And when you lock it, it had a spring mechanism. And they were in there and they said, "Oh my gosh, there's a tornado coming." And he said that door is actually going open and closed. It had a spring arm. And it was going open and closed. Bam,
man.
bam, bam, bam. But the tornado hit the other hangar where the other plane was, took the roof off. The airplane was bounced against the ceiling and back down because the top of the wings were both hit against the rafters and beat them up. Then it stood on its nose and bent the spinner and the cowling up and set it back down. So it
Wow.
bounced around in that hangar. We ended up taking it apart and I went for and helped him fix it for a week. But I don't, if a guy says he understands how they work and what's going to happen, I don't know that they're too violent.
Yeah.
They're predicting what they're going to do and how bad they're going to tear stuff up. You've seen pictures where they hit a house and this house is gone, then they skip one and get going again.
Yeah.
Then you see where it just devastates and just takes the whole neighborhood out.
Yeah. That I think it's the same tornado that got our tree where my then future wife lived. Just a couple miles away. It jumped around. It completely destroyed a couple of houses and didn't touch other ones.
I know. That's what
it
I'm
was
talking about.
weird.
They're chaotic. It's almost
Yeah.
like they catch a little, they get, oh my God, I'm tore up, so it slows down. Then it
Yeah.
gets going again and comes back down and goes again. I don't know if that's what happens or not, but
I think so.
they're
Well,
violent.
the field in Ohio when I lived there, the tornado did us a big service because it stripped the trees to where there were just sticks sticking out of the ground.
Is
It
that
had no
right?
wind, no turbulence afterward.
There was no branches left, It
They make
stick-
Halloween trees. This sticking up. Man,
took our toilet, threw it in the next county.
Oh, yeah. Was a couple years ago that took the part of the roof off of the pavilion at Booter Park, but only
Got
one
it.
side. The other side was fine.
We just got a
So
new roof on it. Now it's probably
They
underwater.
just finally did it a month or so ago. Finally put the new roof on,
Mm-mm.
and now it's
Sparky,
going to be
you
all
got you a-
muddy in there again.
You got your perky wing mold there, partner?
No,
No.
He's working on it.
this is my third try.
Oh, bummer, dude.
It's now solid wood instead of foam. Somebody you got your Peter, you got your a YouTube window open. It's feeding back. This is my third try. I'll just mute you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it shut off.
Somebody you got your Peter. No.
No.
Maybe not.
There we go. So
Mhm. Well,
Here's
it's
the
been a long time seeing you.
Here's the perky fuselage, Joe.
Very good, Robert. Make yourself big. I like to see that little rascal. Please, please. That the spinner you're going to use?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. You're going to mold that out of wood or going to mold it out of fiberglass, you think?
Carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber. Very good.
So the thing is, this is the fuel tank. This is not just the belly pan. This is the fuel tank. The front half right here will be the fuel tank.
Okay.
The motor mount in it. This will all be hollow, obviously.
Yep, sure.
The stabilizer will be on the bottom half of this fuselage with the horn to the top. The push rod will come out the bottom of the wing on this side, and the wings will be glued into the top half, so that when you undo 3 screws, you take it off like that and take a clevis and take it loose from the back so you can separate them.
Yeah.
But it'll bolt together like that. And then, of course, the wings are on it.
Sure. And the wings will mount to the top half permanently.
Correct.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
If I had enough money and a big enough board, I could have molded this piece with the wings, but and I'm having a hard time with wings. Let me show you the second attempt. This is the third attempt, but I think this is going to work.
There's a learning curve in all that stuff. I'm not educated enough, but there's a learning curve.
Yeah, it's expensive too. Okay, I had cut this wing, the first perky wing, out of light foam, like you would make a wing out of.
Mhm.
If you look at this, see how it's crinkled?
Crinkled, uh-huh.
It's melted.
Oh,
The foam, the epoxy melted the foam
I understand.
from exotherm. So here's the mold, but it's ruined.
It's,
Hmm.
Yep, got too hot.
Yep. So I got to make another one. So the deal is, I got the balsa wood and I split it right in half, airfoiled it. Now I will glue this piece to there, not this here, but to that, and then pour a mold, then pop it out so that I'll have one of these, and I'll take this and I'll glue that to that, like so, and then pour the other half,
Right.
and then break it apart. So we got 2 halves.
Mercy, Marcel.
Mm.
So
This-
where's the bell crank going to mount?
Inside the wing.
Inside the wing?
Yeah, this piece of material right here is about $60.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
that's expensive.
Yeah, you know it.
That's expensive.
And this is the second mistake. So I got to sell a couple of these things just to recoup my money.
There was a guy in France when we were over there. He was building carbon fiber team racers, little black looking wing
Mm-hmm.
diesels.
Flying
And
saucers.
Yeah, flying saucer, but they were beautifully built. That he had a carbon fiber mold that it worked well. And I think they wouldn't, they may have been, I don't know if they made them in two pieces. I don't know how they made them, but it was all the wings, the fuselage, and all that looked like one piece. I don't know how they did that for sure. But it was an impressive airplane.
Well, this is going to look like one piece. You know, basically, this is just the cowl line. So, what I thought of doing, you know, it'll be bolted together. You'll just see that break right there.
Right.
That's
Uh-huh.
the cowl.
And why are you making it take apart?
So that you can change engines and
Oh,
You have a fuel tank in the bottom of it.
right.
Yeah.
So
Handy.
yeah. So there's no extra weight for a fuel tank because that's this. This
right.
is the fuel tank.
cool.
And I guess this event is from a standing start, so you don't want any extra weight.
You want it to get up and going as quick as possible.
And not climb very much. Just take off flat.
We're
Yeah.
going to have about that much elevator movement. I mean, there won't be shit.
It won't be nothing. Yeah.
2-inch bell crank in there.
So Peter came in, and
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever met Peter. So
It's been a long time since Peter's been with us.
Yeah,
is it?
it's been a while. It has been a while.
So who are you and where are you?
I am in Tampa, Florida.
Nice. Oh, you're getting some rain today.
To give
Or
a little
yesterday.
to give a little bit of a background, I got involved in control line back in the 1970s in the great old state of New York. So I am
Oh,
very familiar and friends with Bob Hunt. Unfortunate, Gene Lampione is gone. Gene Schaefer is gone, but I grew up with all those guys.
oh, that's great. You bet. I bet.
Out in the northeast of New York, yes.
Yeah, I bet you got a lot of stories.
Oh yes, Flushing Meadow Park, and which is still there. If anybody's looking for a place to fly in the New York City area, the model airplane field is still there at Flushing Meadow. Two grass circles, two paved circles, and it's one of the last ones that is still out there. And I remember. Oh, geez, do I remember Big Gene Greenaway.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was another famous famous person that used to frequent that flying field. Oh, I can go on with Bill Simmons. Wendy Urtnowski. He used to
Yeah.
come down there. The whole crew from the East Coast.
Rich Gagabone.
Gene Martin. Was Lou Goldust around then?
Oh yeah, back in the 70s and the 80s, that used to be the place to go. And it's like it was really incredible because I'm sitting there thinking that you used to go to the flying field. You go down to the flying field at Flushing Meadow on Saturday or Sunday. You would actually have to wait in line on they had four, like I said, four flying circles. You had to go in there and wait in line to be able to put your plane up in the air because that's how many people used to go there.
Sure.
Man.
You had to wait in line.
I bet it ain't like that anymore.
Oh no, unfortunately it's not. But the sad thing is because the field is still there. The Parks Department still keeps the field up, and it's just not being used.
Didn't they have a contest there last year, Robert? I think they did.
so.
I think they did have a contest there.
Yeah, they did.
Yep. Every once in a while they'll hold a contest there, but it's certainly nothing like it used to be.
Yeah, I miss Bob Lampione and I miss Rick Gacabone and John DeTavia.
Oh, Octavio was cool, dude. I liked him.
Yeah. I miss Wendy, but he ain't around.
I remember Wendy being out there with his when he first put together his Strega, because he designed the Strega. I remember going out there one Sunday morning, and him and Wendy's out there, and I guess he's practicing for something, and I'm watching him put in the pattern on one of the asphalt circles. And I don't know who else was there. I don't know if it was what maybe it was Vic Macaluso, but there were a couple other people there with him, and we're watching him go through the pattern, and he's doing his pullouts lower and lower and lower, and somebody's gonna say, "This is not good. You're going too low there, Wendy." And ultimately turns around and takes his airplane and pretty much pancakes it into the asphalt and rips out the landing gear of his Strega. He was not a happy camper.
Mm.
So you still building or flying, Peter?
I've got a couple of things that I'm building. Unfortunately, stuff, how would I say? Stuff just gets in the way, living life gets in the way, so things have to be put on hold.
Yeah.
I still have a Pathfinder LE that's like all I have it all it's all framed out. All it really requires now basically is to be covered. I have somebody gifted me a Nobler, but it's electric.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was gifted this Nobler right here.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, it's all electric.
Yeah.
And,
You never
I
know.
have not gone electric yet.
You might like it. You might hate
come
it.
on. After looking to see, okay, you can go out and get a charger. Go out and get a charger, and the charger is $300 and some odd dollars. Let alone the expense for the batteries. I mean,
Well, if you're patient, you don't have to spend that much on a charger. You can get a halfway decent Chinese one from Amazon, and yeah, it might take a little longer to charge, or you can't charge more than one battery at a time, but at least you don't have to spend quite that much.
There's probably people in his area that have extra ones they don't use because they moved on to something more.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, look at that.
I still have plenty of these. I still have a couple of these.
Oh, nice.
FSFR or something. What is that?
Yep, that's an OS FSR 36.
Yeah, there you go. FSR
46 rather.
46. Yeah, run the 12.4.
Hold that up there again.
12.4.
Hold it up there again. I've never seen that engine. Oh, a VF.
Yep.
Yeah. VF 46.
Rear exhaust.
The only thing is I do not have a pipe for it. So it sits. And I also have a couple of 40s, 40 VF 40s as well. This is the 40. That's the 46. I have a couple of VF 40s as well, somewhere around here.
Powerful little motors right there.
And then, of course, you have
LA 46.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat right there for most people.
Yeah.
So I'm still with the IC group.
Yay!
Yep, I'm still IV8. I understand that electric is once you got all the bits and pieces, it's very much, you don't have to deal with you don't have to deal with nitro, you don't have to deal with elevation of your atmospheric elevation and all sorts of 90 different things that you have to take into consideration when you're running IC.
They got their own set of problems.
No flipping the prop though.
No, I'm still an IC guy.
Well, you won't get any argument from Sparky on the
You just
IC stuff.
enjoy
That's
it.
for sure.
Just enjoy it however you want to enjoy it.
That's right.
Peter, is that your LE back there?
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Oh, it's John Miller came in. So did Howard. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, Peter.
Okay. There's the LE.
Yeah.
What power are you gonna put on that?
What's that?
What engine you gonna put in there?
Well, right now it's a 40, an LE, oh, geez. Right now, it's the current motor I have in there is a 40 F.
FP?
Like I said.
FP40?
Hmm?
FP40? Side exhaust?
No,
or
no,
rear?
no.
VF? VF?
A VF.
VF.
It's a VF40 in there right now.
With the rev up 12.5.
Yep.
Good for it. Or the 46, either one.
No, the 46, the 40s, the thing is the 46 is supposed to go in here, but since the 46 and the 40 have the same footprint, I put the 40 in there just to make sure everything is make sure everything fits okay.
But you need to get a pipe for that 46. I bet you there's one available. You'll find it. Look at that. That looks good. Looks good. You've been working on it a little bit since I saw it last.
Yep. Oh. The only thing is I don't have a pipe.
Oh,
Whoops.
there are people around that can fix you up with a pipe.
And so that the thing, and I've been actually thinking maybe I should swap it out for a side exhaust motor at some point, for the simple reason that tune pipe setups are getting harder and harder to find.
Well, there's got to be a buttload of them around because there are a lot of guys that had them and then they switched over to electric. And so somebody's got a whole bunch of them stashed away.
Yeah, exactly. They're stashed away. The thing is that all of a sudden everybody thinks they've got some sort of collectible on hands. And if you've ever looked to see what people are trying to get for an OS VF40 or a VF46, yeah.
Well,
you got halfway up to $1,000 to buy one.
The pipe
gotta
is
watch out
cost
for
you
the
$100 no matter what, because that's what they cost new. $100, the pipe.
Yep.
Gotta watch out for the word vintage.
Yeah.
If you want a pipe bad enough, call Dub Jet and say you want a 40 pipe. He'll make one. They're available.
I got a pipe for it even.
No, I basically I have a couple of OS Max 45 FSR let me see, ABC pipes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that would fit right in there. It's just I'd have to cut off for a side exhaust, and pretty much I believe that the 40 FSR is pretty much the same thing as the VF, except as a side exhaust.
Well, if I remember correctly, and I may not, that was the one where they went through, first they tried to detune it. And that's when they finally came with the idea of the high RPM, low pitch. And that's when it started working for them.
You'll find that the 46 runs better than the 40. The VF46 is better than the 40.
Yep, and that's this motor right here.
Yeah.
That's a side exhaust.
So I have a couple of these, and if I can't find a prop, what I'll do is I'll put one of these into the Pathfinder and go with side exhaust because that's a heck of a lot easier to deal with.
Is your pipe tunnel built yet?
No, it isn't.
Well, then that there comes a making a decision time pretty quick.
Put a little muffler on it. Little
Yep.
header muffler. Of course,
Yeah,
that works.
header
That works on a
muffler.
PA, but I don't know if it works on an OS.
Well, the header
Yep,
muffler.
I do understand, but it's like it's for so many years. You know, when you get started in this hobby, and I started out way back in the 70s, and the Fox, then you had your Fox 35. That was the go-to motor, right? Your Fox 35 or your McCoy is when I started back in the day. And then you go through all of the teething pains. You go through all the teething pains throughout the years of trying to find an engine run that will run good. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, the OS Max 35 came out. Oh. And then all of a sudden, when the Max Stunt came out, everything kind of like changed. And even then, it was still, you still had your issues. So you get to that point, and then you see the VF series motors come out, and you're like you're saying, "Oh, I want one of those. I want one of those," because that is supposed to take care of all your ails.
But you know what this hobby's all about, don't you, Peter? He who dies with the most toys wins.
Right. I was always the part of that group that was always like kind of like just behind the guys that were doing this stuff. It's like Gene Schaefer, Bob Hunt, and all those guys, and a lot of the guys right there, like were stepping up to the Super Tiger, series of engines. Well, I couldn't afford a Super Tiger engine. I couldn't afford the OS Max 35 at that given time. And it was like, how would I say it? You end up in the group. You end up in the group of groupies that are like following these guys around. The guys that are winning all the contests, saying, "Oh, I wish I had that," or "I wish I had this."
Bob Gieske did pretty good with the Fox 35 and the Gieske Nobler for a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
He-
he did. Yeah, I won't
was-
argue that.
He was like Southwick, though. The relationship between Southwick and the McCoy 35 or McCoy 40 was like nothing that you could buy today. Dick McCoy breathed on those specials.
Engines and getting engines to run a proper way, and even I guess pretty much to this day as well. It's even but more so back in the day because a lot of things were still being still experimental. It's like you never knew whether you were going to have an engine run that was going to be consistent from the first flight of the day to the last flight of the day.
True story.
And you sit there and you yank your out. It's my airplane is fine, everything. My I'm no problems with my airplane. But then either the engine runs away or the engine quits out, in the middle of whatever maneuver, or and it's back to the drawing board. Is it the glow plug? Is it the nitro content? Is it because the engine overheated? Well, maybe I should let it cool down between flights. That's why I said, electric gets rid of all of that. But still, I still rather deal with my IC motors.
There's an old saying, Peter, that goes better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Yeah. And as I said, I'm sure there are charges that are under, 300 or some odd dollars that turn around, and I can't even
Well,
recite all the specifications and the automatic features and this, that, and the other thing. And then
well,
you have the whether it's LiPo or ion or oh geez.
it's not as bad as you're making it sound, Peter.
And then okay, what motor do you put on there? Because you put a motor on there and you have 3C, 2C, whatever, all these different numbers that are going flying around about motors, and then of course, oh, what's the proper propeller to put on this?
What
It
you
seems like
need?
you had an IC engine. You had a 35, a 45, a 51, a 60 size engine. You knew which you pretty much had. You pretty much knew it's that this one's going to pretty much do on this kind of prop. This one's going to do well on that kind of prop. But you
Just-
didn't have a whole bunch of other variables thrown in.
Well, it's the same thing with the electric motor. So this size here likes this size prop. Badass has got a really fairly decent sight up there, and you can pick your motor and the prop and the RPM and how much pull you want and all of that off that chart. It gets easier the more you do it. When you're looking at it going in, yeah, you can talk yourself out of it. But I'll tell you what, I'll never ever build another twin for IC. I'm not.
Oh no, that's no, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I've tried, I've tried twin with IC, and that is no fun whatsoever.
Nope. You put up 10 flights and maybe one of them is a good one.
Howard, I know you got something to say.
Best to be still.
Yeah.
Well,
Here it comes.
yeah.
There's only
You know
one
what?
person you got to please. It's yourself.
Yep.
That's the deal. Please yourself and have a good day.
You know, the Jive Combat Team has such a good, laid back persona. You're looking at
Oh,
him
yeah.
now. You're looking at him right now.
What's
Mr.
the word, Howard?
Howard Rush.
Well, the OS 40 VF is pretty easy to get along with. You got to get a pipe and try to find a Bali 11. What is it?
11.345, 11.345 or something.
11.3 inch prop. You got to cut down at 11 and a half or a 12 or something.
Right.
11 and 3/4, I guess you cut down.
Yeah, that prop is a 12 4.5 Magic, which of course you can't get anymore.
Well, we use Bali's.
Make it.
And electric is, well, you already got that airplane built, so kind of late to go electric with that, but it's pretty straightforward. Just ask someone who's doing it and uses stuff. It's the same thing.
There's probably people in Tampa, somebody's got a pipe they don't use. A
Oh,
full
yeah.
pipe, I'm sure. I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
15 3/4 or whatever it is. Somebody remembers all that. I flew an airplane Steve Mie had that had I think it's a VF-40 rear exhaust or a 46, and he was running a 12-inch greenie on that rascal. Dude, that airplane flew good. That 46 is a monster motor.
Yep.
If the engine's happy, then you start cutting your lines down to make you happy and the airplane happy.
Well, now that you bring that up, now that you bring up engine with lines, and you bring that up, I noticed today that somebody on, I'm not going to mention it, but on that other control line vehicle was asking about adjustable lead outs and what is the rationale behind adjustable lead outs. And I've been watching this thread that our YouTube thread, and sometimes it kind of like overlooked that maybe some people that are in our YouTube audience may like to understand something very basic, like what's an adjustable lead out? What is the purpose behind an adjustable lead out? What does it affect? Why should you incorporate it or anything like that? And of course, they're not getting the answer on face slob book bang bang, whatever, when they ask those questions.
Well, there's
So
two places
maybe
to look.
tonight we might discuss for a short period of time adjustable lead outs, why they're there, what they're good for.
There's two
so on
places
and
to
so
look.
forth.
There's two places to look. You can look on Stunt Hangar for Brett Buck's functions of trim adjustments, I think the thing is, and the other place to look is on Flying Lines to the Paul Walker trim chart.
Well, you can also do a search on there. No, very few people do a search. They just ask the question.
Well, you get a lot of information from people who don't know what they're talking about, but if you go to one of these two sources, you're in business.
Well, that's true. That's true. For instance, if I answer it, you might get something I know something about, or I don't know something about, and I'm making it up as I go along.
I just put them on there to move them around till the airplane flies good.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Come on, that's kind of like a sad repertoire. I mean, here we have the leaders, the guys that made control line what it is today, and they're all coming back with the same kind of an attitude that I used to get when I was a kid going to the flying field. When I used to walk up to Gene Schaefer or one of the guys or Bob Lampioni and ask them all sorts of questions, and they would turn around and they would give me the same BS answers that you guys just gave me.
I
am
look,
sorry.
Hold on a second, Peter. Let me give you my.
Hold on yourself.
I am sorry for that.
Well, in fact, I can tell when I need to move my lead outs, but I can't tell which way to move them until I try it. Now, this is sort of an advanced point in trim, but to know how to do it, I gave you the two sources. And you could look or you can complain about it. Take your pick.
Here's what I do. It's supposed to start. This is a real cut and dry thing. It's supposed to start approximately a half to 1 inch behind the center of gravity. You start out there, and if it don't fly good, you move it backwards. And if it flies good,
you are getting too far into it. What I mean is, okay, I've got an airplane. It's pulling like a damn banshee on the lines. I'm holding on with two hands, trying to control that airplane. And will moving the lead outs forward or back affect the line pull on my handle?
Yes.
I mean, let's get to the basics of it. That's what people don't understand is the goddamn basics.
Well, the basics, if you go to one of those sources, it starts out with the basic trim. Paul starts out with a basic trim. Brett tells you what the trim functions do. So they're pretty much the same thing. But
if the airplane's nose heavy, you're on the proper CG, it's going to be different than if an airplane's balanced at 20% CG or 28, the lead out position will be a different place to make that airplane fly properly. Now, it's not going to turn the same.
The reason I bring this up is because I've seen this answer quite a few times, and I had the same problem. I had a Sing Magnum, and the damn thing I had it on 80. I had it on 70-foot lines, and that sucker used to pull like gangbusters. And nobody ever told me that if I adjusted my lead outs, I can trim that airplane not to yank my ass out of the circle. And
Okay, now you want a basic place to start.
And you know, it's like, geez, okay, now instead of having an airplane that is a handful to fly in any kind of environment, I can make an adjustment without making everybody saying, well, make your lines longer, make your lines longer. I'm already at 70 feet. So
Point the
making a line
motor in
longer,
at you.
making lines longer is not an option. There was no offset on the engine. There was no offset on the radiator, on the elevator rather, on not the elevator, but the rudder. So the plane was hanging out there strictly because of a certain aspect. And
That's
nobody ever
typically,
told me, oh, move the lines up, move the lines forward, move my lead outs forward a bit so you can reduce that damn tension on the lines.
Did you try?
Nobody mentioned it. Nobody even told me that was a possibility.
Oh, well, okay, we're telling you now that that's a possibility. And you could try moving them forward, or better yet, you could get line 2 or line 3, is it? Bob Reeves's program on the Tulsa Glue Daubers site, and it will give you a starting point for lead out position.
For lap times, way the airplane, how fast it's going. You got to know several things.
I don't think lap times is in there, is it?
I don't know, but it does make a
Shouldn't
difference.
be. Yeah, both everything that there is proportional is the speed squared, so it should be invariant with lap time.
Okay.
But it's a function of airplane weight and line size
Definitely.
and line length.
Most of my airplanes, if I hang them up by the lead outs, just let them hang there, and you carefully put a digital meter on them, they're going to be a degree to 3/4 to 2 degrees nose out. And it'll vary in the wind. If you put tail weight on it, that can vary it. How fast you're going. If you're flying slower, that makes it change. There's a lot of variables on that.
line placement is not the
Air density.
absolute.
I think density makes a difference. I really do.
Yeah.
What did you say, Robert?
Line placement is not absolute.
It's not.
One of your adjustable features. I mean, you adjust it for various reasons.
Yeah.
I know, you know, and I've quoted this a couple times on the regular forum, something that Ted Fancher wrote a long time ago, where he was talking about getting, you know, how to figure for a good starting point to begin your trimming, and he used the area of the stabbing elevator and what percentage of the stabbing elevator was of the main wing and flaps. And at the mean average chords, for instance, say he had 24% of the stabbing wing area that was the size of the stabbing elevator. At the mean aerodynamic chord, he would begin by balancing at the 24% mark on that at that particular area. And then as far as his setting the sweep of the lead outs, he used to say it was about a thumb width, you know, to begin with. And then
Yeah, you can start anywhere. It will vary according to the airplane and other thing and the lines.
Yep.
So a thumb it might be a different width thumb. You know, you might have to get
my thumb is
around to
probably
get a guy with the right width thumb, but doesn't matter too much. You can start there. You can use line 3, start there.
Yep.
Or you could then go to the trim chart and go from there. Follow the instructions on the trim chart. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, exactly. It's not rocket science. But you know, let's rewind, you know, several years back in the day. Adjustable lead outs were not a thing. Nobody even thought. It never even crossed anybody's mind to make the lead outs adjustable. When you went out and you built an airplane, that's what you set the lead outs to. You went out and bought a kit, And the kid said, this is where the lead outs are. This is what you set them to. Nobody ever turned around and started to really give an idea of what the purpose is, what the end result of the purpose is of making your lead outs adjustable.
We didn't understand a lot of things back when I started. And what you did is you build it the way your favorite guy, you trim it out like he had it. And then, and then you go fly it. And if there's any errors in that, you learn how to fly around them. You didn't know enough about trimming to make much substantial. I mean, that changed a lot starting I think in the late 60s or early 70s. And there were people back in the 40s and 50s knew what the heck they were doing when it came to trim, but that was all secrets.
Well, I had adjustable lead outs and tip weight boxes in 1969. I remember specifically.
Yep. I'm not surprised, Sparky. They were out there, but not everybody knew about them.
Oh, most definitely not.
Well,
you have to also remember that somebody's just coming into this hobby. And I'm trying to make it easier for people that are thinking about coming into this hobby to explain some things at a basic level, rather than just saying, oh, you need adjustable lead outs, and then you just need adjustable lead outs without having any rationale why you have to have adjustable lead outs.
that's a good point. And it's hard to find a real explanation if you don't know where to look among the balderdash.
Yeah, you'll get 10 different opinions from.
Well, from at least nine people who don't know what they're talking about. That's what.
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
Let's talk about this. There's an airplane called a Shark
Yes,
that you can't get lead outs adjustable when you buy it. It costs $4,000 to get it or whatever it costs.
and it's the most successful stunt plane in the.
And it doesn't have those lead outs. But when you buy that airplane, he's flown it so much. He knows where the CG is. He knows where the high point of the wing. He knows that airplane. And if you put the CG in the same place every time, the lead outs won't need to be changed a whole lot. But I still think I want them adjustable to suit me. I want certain places in the pattern a little more tension than others. And you can do that with the same CG. If I get in the wind, I may put tail weight on my airplane and the lead outs alone. But that tail weight made the lead outs go forward. A further forward lead out, in my opinion, make the airplane turn better. But if you don't believe it, I don't care. Don't do it. I ain't gonna argue. I ain't gonna argue with nobody on it.
I think that he might mess with a rudder on that airplane to do the same thing we do with lead outs.
Maybe.
Put an Al Ray Wiggly rudder on it.
Hey,
That's
they
tricky.
work. I've had them work.
They're tricky.
Yes, they are. But
I don't think I want to do that.
when it works, when you got it right, it works good. When you got it wrong, you'd rather not have it. It's just the way it is. You got to get it right or close to right, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Trussell has a good mechanism for wiggly rudder with the cam in it.
Oh,
He sure does.
he sure does.
Yes, he does.
That's really cool.
That's the only one that I've ever seen that actually could possibly work. When you give it down or whatever, it's given rudder to come in at you. I don't think I like that idea.
Well, you give it down, the motor. See if I remember this.
The rudder goes out, down.
Yeah, but you give it down. That's because the nose wants to swing in at you.
Mm-hmm.
Because is it precession? I think it is.
Well, that's what people call it, but
It's
Centrifugal force.
Yeah, well, it's a prop effect. How's that?
well, it's a gyroscopic effect.
Gyroscopic.
That's what he's talking
Yeah.
about. But there are many other things in play there, and there are different ways to.
Yeah.
Stunt's easy. Stunt's really easy. I'll just give it up or down. That's all you got to do.
All I gotta do is
Yeah,
stand
that's
out there and wiggle the handle.
Yeah, it's like a brick on a string, you know.
Yeah.
And years ago, I can't tell you who they were, but two world-class flyers, one of them won the world, one of them got second. They flew each other's airplanes. And they flew so different, either one of them thought the other airplane was fit to fly. There's different ways to skin that cat for different folks. But the lead outs is a big deal. And that information needs to be on there. The hard part about reading that trim chart, if you don't know what you're looking for, it's hard to see what it's doing. It's hard to see things. Wings level, tilted out, tilted in. Line tension. For me, line tension equal inside and outside is mandatory. I want my line tension the same. And that's typically a vertical CG, or you got a flap issue if it's not. All that stuff makes a difference in how they fly.
Yeah, that the one thing that chart assumes is you have a credible airplane.
Well, that flow chart's the best I've seen. I mean,
I agree.
That flow chart maybe what I'm trying to put forward is that maybe everybody here has been at this hobby for a long time. We pretty much know what the ins and outs are. And we always complain about there are so few new people coming into the hobby. And I would imagine that part of that is because they're overwhelmed, they're kind of like intimidated by what is involved to get into the hobby. And we sit here on this forum, on this great forum where we can discuss anything. And we're inviting people to come in on YouTube, on YouTube snaps or whatever the hell they call them. And we sometimes talk and have conversations that are above the heads of a lot of people that we are looking to entice coming into the hobby. And so if it's like, all right, so we discuss, lead outs, adjustable lead outs. We have to remember that most everybody that's watching secondhand, not the guys who are on this particular forum who log in, like like Bob or Denny or any one of those people that have been in this hobby, who pretty much created this hobby from the beginning. But those people out there that kind of like got their interest peaked, but then they're all of a sudden like blown out of the water about this, that, or the other thing, where if we can turn around and we can discuss adjustable lead outs. Why are they there? Why are they a good thing? Not to get down into the nitty gritty of CG and line length and this, that, and the other thing. Just keep it basic so people can understand where we're coming from when we make these statements and these arguments.
Well, Pete, we got 8 people on here right now.
Oh yeah, right now.
And I bet you that of these 8 people that are here, and there's some very experienced people here, and there's some not so experienced people here. But of it, we might agree on 20% of the things that we need to agree about or know about. The rest, we might get up to 8 different
answers.
Different answers for some items. In other words, each one of us might have a different solution. And the thing of it is, they're so linked together that sometimes the wildest concoction seems to work.
John, you're missing the point. We have 6 people on this Zoom meeting. You might think, John, that we might have a lot more people joining in on this Zoom meeting that are not the people that have been in this hobby for ages. Maybe they'll, instead of sitting there on YouTube on the box,
there's 31 people on right now.
Pete, there's a lot of people. They're listening, and not only they're listening right now, but they're listening throughout the week. They'll bring up these chats and there's a lot more people, but they won't come in because they're for whatever reason they won't.
John, they're getting sick and tired of hearing old man stories. Quite literally, they're probably getting a little bit tired of old man stories that go back and like, like we sit around telling people our adventures in the Second World War. I'm sorry, but this is 2025. And while the old man stories are great, and it's great to revisit them amongst ourselves, nobody else is really interested.
Well, it is what it is. People are what they are, Pete. And we're not we're not Columbia University or something like that. We're a bunch of guys that enjoy a hobby and have a common interest.
That's the only, but that's the only reason I said let's remember when we get on these sessions. Let's go back and discuss some basics.
What would
Discuss
be
the
nice?
basics
We've been
that is
trying for an hour.
relevant to everyone.
What would be nice, Pete, is if the people who have the questions would come in and ask.
Ask the question.
Yes,
because
exactly.
we're gonna talk about the things we enjoy talking about, because that's what we do. But if there's a question, you got, of these 8 people that are here, a couple of them are really pretty good experts. A couple of them sometimes know what to do. They're going to get a good chance at getting some good information. But we're not going to be talking about for instance, Joe, Howard, Sparky, Mike, all these guys fly at the nets all the time. They fly at that level. Okay, they're going to be talking about things that are at that level. Now, they can tell you some pretty good information when you're beginning and things to look out for and that, but they're not going to do that every time. I'm sure if you went back through the what do you call them, where archives, you'd find that you could find where their problem or their question was discussed already. And I guess what I'm saying, let's encourage them to come in and talk to us, or talk to these folks, put their question out in the open forum, and then we've got a direction to go. We don't have a direction to go right now. We're going with what we like. I know Joe.
I've been thinking of how to answer the question, what does lead out position do? And I think you'd start with what you want from an airplane is for when you rotate it, for it to rotate about an axis that goes between your hand and the airplane. And to get it to rotate about that axis, you've got to balance the moments in the other axes such that they equal 0. And lead out position is one of those things to do it. Now, I'm working on writing an equation for all those things, but it's just one of the lead out position is one of the things that you do to try to balance all the other stuff to get the sums of those moments to 0. A Raby rudder is another technique to do that. But to tell you what lead out position does is non-trivial, and probably if it's expressed as simple as possible, you'd still need a scientific background to understand it. At least you need to have studied statics.
Here's the deal. Better to have them than not have them. Right, Howard?
Huh?
It's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them, because then you got to cut it open. So you might as well put them in to begin with.
Oh, adjustable lead outs.
Yeah.
Well, the shark gets away without them. See, if something goes wrong, you'd have to do something else. But I think the thing to do is to ask people to fly what size lines to use.
Ultimately, without getting into the nitty-gritty of mathematical computations, basically, as long as we boil it down to cause and effect, that is pretty much good enough for most people that are getting involved in the particular hobby, or they want to expand on the particular hobby. Don't need to get technical. Just give a simple cause and effect. Move the lead outs forward. This is what
Cause
typically
and
happens.
effect is
Move the lead
not,
outs back. This is what typically happens.
the cause and effect is not simple, but the trim chart will tell you what to do with the lead outs as you go through it.
But Howard, cause and effect is not simple, but most people, 99% of your following audience doesn't give a damn about the mathematics behind it. They care about cause and effect.
That's then well, they're not gonna learn cause and effect without going to the mathematics. But they
Go
don't
buy
need
an
to
ARF
know.
Nova, put an
All they,
ARF
get-
Nova.
all they need to do is go to the chart and follow the chart, and they'll come out with a trimmed airplane.
There's been a lot of people. My first airplane in 203 that I bought was an ARF Nova. Put a Fox 35 in it, no decimal lead outs, no tip weight. Put it on 58-foot lines with a 10.6 CW and nice gas, and it flew well. Did it fly good enough to win the Nats? No, but it flew well. Now, Ringmaster, I've flown forever. None of them have any adjustable lead outs, but I know by experience
Oh, yeah.
where they balance and where they fly, and I put them there. The guys that built airplanes in the 50s, they weren't dumbards. They flew these airplanes enough that the CG's here, the lead outs are here on 58 15s. It was going to be pretty good. Pretty good. Was it perfect? No. But for the time, the lead outs need to be in a position behind the high point of the lift with the right pull on the lines, the right length of lines. The longer the lines, the more the lead outs got to go back because the lines bow and pull the airplane in at you. It's just a fact of life. So everything makes a difference on that. What they do, they make their plane flying as good a track as it can around the circle to let you have control wherever you want to be. Howard can look at an airplane, tell you if it's right or not pretty much from outside the circle.
I can tell you this, I don't want over and under lead outs like a Thunderbird.
Term spherical geometry, or spherical calculus.
No,
Comes in there, doesn't it, Howard? The term spherical calculus.
Never heard of it.
I sure don't know anything about that, but there's a lot goes into it when you're trying to get to the top shelf. But for a Nober with the Fox 35, they put them in the stock position, a smoothie in the stock, any of that stuff with the right engine. When you start putting heavy engines in them, now the lead arc's going to be right anymore because you moved the CG forward.
Right.
It's going to pull hard. It's going to pull like a banshee with the nose heavy up, in my opinion.
I fiddle with them just to kill any oscillation that I get.
I don't know why, but I've flown in Tulsa on 85 or 90-degree day and had my airplane trimmed good and take it to Muncie, and it's not right up there. Move the lead outs. And the humidity, density, altitude, something's got something to do with that, and I don't know why. But in my opinion, when you get density, altitude, and humidity, it changes the lead out position. And
Hey, Joe, just reach down there by your right knee and turn that knob to the right.
What knob?
The one in your RB9.
Oh, yeah, that's the way you trim that baby all the time.
That's right.
That's funny. Took Robert for an airplane one ride one time, and around the patch, you're pretty busy adjusting stuff, you know.
Every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, he's wiggling with that trim knob.
I want that thing flying itself. It can fly better than I can.
There you go.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you didn't turn that trim knob, you can't see over the nose. Right? Flying uphill.
They're a beautiful sight when they're trimmed in right, aren't they, Joe?
It's easier to fly them that way.
You sit back and relax.
Well, the RV9s, you launch at 60 and you climb at 80 and you downwind at 100. The trim's got to change every time their speed changes.
Yeah. But if you're going downwind, that's at 100. Is that ground speed or is that
No.
relative to the
The
airspeed?
trim of the airplane only depends on what's going across the wings. It don't care what the ground speed is for trim.
There you go. So, but what I mean, if you're going downwind, are you indicating 100 going downwind?
140 if you're going, cooking. It can be 140 in RV9 easy. You could go 160 if you want to, but it takes too long to slow all that back down. I usually keep it below 120 if I'm doing touch and goes. It just stays. A lot of the Spartan traffic, a lot of airplanes fly at 100 downwinds. So if you got other traffic to pattern, you just will match their speeds and keep up with everybody. You can't run over them.
Well, that little 152 that I flew, it was real quick to trim in, and it wasn't going to go fast no matter what you did. It was nice and stable, trimmed in. Yeah.
So, John, what did you do during World War II?
Who?
You.
World War II?
Yeah.
I was still in diapers.
Oh, okay.
I was filling them things, contributing to the war.
Landfill.
Somebody had to make manure.
Yeah.
What's new with the team trials?
I don't know. Russell put in a bid, but I don't know if anything's been done yet. He
Oh,
put out, I'm sure he's put it out that whoever wants to put in a bid needs to do so. I don't know his due date.
Oh, you know what the date for the trials is?
Oh, no, I do not know that yet. I think he wants to talk to everybody and see what they think. I'm pretty sure he's thinking late August.
How's the weather there in late August?
It's okay. It'd be hot and calm.
Okay.
How's the wind?
It'd be good in August typically. We have to look on the chart and see, but I wouldn't even mind doing it the second weekend of September. Probably be okay too. He'll talk to the boys. I mean, he's got what, 12? I think there's 12 districts in there, Howard, that helped make that deal up or when to do it and all that.
Yeah, there's
I
a
think
team selection committee.
I think he wants to stay away from when is it typically done?
Whatever the organizer wants to do it.
Well, it used to be on a certain day because the children could get out of school for something, but that's the same day as the Dallas contest. I need to tell him, the Dallas, there's no kids coming from Dallas. So nobody was going to go to Dallas that's going to come to team trials as a child anyhow. So I don't know. It needs to be where the kids could get here. There's going to be 3 or 4 juniors, I think, Howard. Could be.
Yeah. Well, earlier would probably be better for kids.
When's the school start? I don't know.
At different times.
Yeah,
I would think.
If you
Some
got
of them
any-
are starting early now.
I don't know when it'll be.
Well, you could ask the 3 or 4 kids that would come when the school starts.
That would be the best thing. I might mention that. Just call the kids that are coming. Alamo boy was one of them. Ben may outgrow it by now. I don't know who all can be there.
Well,
When did we do it last time? Do you remember?
can ask. It was in October, wasn't it?
I think it's October too, Colleen. Do you?
It was in Houston, and you might have to wait to
Houston in
October. There.
October, and I think we did it the same time at ours, the time that you came down.
It was that was Labor Day.
Labor Day.
And
That's right. That Labor Day. Labor Day's kind of been what they thought they should do, but I don't know. I don't know what's best. I just don't know. Don't know who all even come.
Oh, everybody would go because everybody wants to go to Australia.
Everybody's coming. Well, then,
So, yeah, I'll go, but just for ceremonial purposes, because the varsity will be there. And
the varsity's coming. Is that right?
well, I think so.
Well, you might be right. And Matt's not. I'm pretty sure Matt's not coming. He can't.
Oh, he's
afford to
not?
go-
Oh,
no, he can't afford to go to Australia. I figured it. I thought it would be you, Daly, and Orestes. But if Fitzgerald comes, that's another good one. And Paul, I don't know if they'll come or not. I don't know.
I think Paul has threatened to go if it's in Australia. He liked it last time.
I think it's a done deal from what I read. Did you read that email?
Oh, well, yeah, it's a done deal. But if yeah, Paul therefore will go. I think.
Okay.
Well,
that's partial.
he's said before that he would.
Well, good.
So,
That'd be great.
well, yeah, then we can't go.
Oh, I'm not going. I'm not even going to try out, dude. I told Russell I'll be a pit boss or something. I'm not flying. Sitting on an airliner just makes me weak in the knees for 17 hours. I don't have any interest in that at all.
That's a long time to sit.
It's a long time.
It wasn't too bad when Mary Lou had frequent flyer points, but
There you go. It'd be fun to go watch it. I mean, I'd like to even. I had a good time at the Worlds, Howard. I've got to visit lots of folks. It was a great week. I enjoyed it.
yeah, I figured you would.
There's some good flying going on.
You had a good time in France, didn't you?
I did. Yes. Mm-hmm. The people, what it's about, dude.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. A lot of good people. It's you're talking about airplanes. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the key. And I saw people in at Muncie that I'd seen in France. And was that 18, Colleen? I think it was. Yeah, it was 18.
Hey, I noticed Mark Gerber slipped in on us.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, you got any show and tell tonight?
Oh, yeah. Haven't got much done on my Bearcat, but I got to go to the dentist last week and get some dental surgery in my mouth. My face was all puffed up and
You got any pictures?
No, we don't want to see that.
I can take it out.
I got specific instructions not to look.
Is
It might
that
disturb the stitches that are in there.
is that
Oh,
an
man.
Ohio State blanket back there? That requires some explanation. I think.
What, Howard, this?
Yeah, I'm pointing to it. You can't see that. It looks like an Ohio State blanket on the couch behind you.
Yeah, that is, I think.
Well, why is that there? That shouldn't be there.
My wife went to Ohio State,
Oh, okay.
and so did my daughter,
Oh, yeah, I guess you have.
and so did my sister, and a whole bunch of my cousins and aunts and uncles. And
Oh,
I was the black sheep. I went to Purdue.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But let's see, you wanted to see something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Pictures.
Remember how to do this. So just before I went to the dentist, I went to the state science fair here in Colorado.
Oh,
High school and junior high school kids. And it's really amazing what some of these folks come up with. Some of them are really brilliant. And anyway, I was a judge for the Electrical Engineering Institute. So we were looking for projects that had electrical content. But I snuck away a little bit and I found this one here. Homemade wind tunnel.
oh, nice.
Oh my
Has
goodness.
airfoil
look at that.
designs. So I thought that was worth looking into. But I was a little bit disappointed. He didn't quite get as far as I hoped he did. But I looked him up. He's a high school freshman. So I think at the time I was a high school
Wow.
freshman, I was probably about where he is, or maybe not as far. But he, well, he got this blower motor from his dad. I guess this was laying around the basement somewhere. And he set it up on the floor and put this ductwork that went up to the top and came through this. He called it a filter. I thought it was a flow straightener, but he kind of tried to tell me it was something else. And I came through there, and then here's his airfoil. And then he's got these little transducers here. One of them senses the vertical pull, which is the lift. And the other one over here senses the horizontal pull, which is the drag. So he could blow air through here and he could measure lift and drag.
Cool.
And he made little plots like this. But ask him a few more questions. It turned out he was only getting it going about 12 miles an hour, which is 20 kilometers per hour, which is what he claimed here. So he wasn't going very fast.
No.
And this was pretty small for model airplane use. It would have needed to be bigger. But anyway, I made one of these when I was in 8th grade, so I was only 1 year different from him at the time.
Cool.
And mine was a big disaster too. So
Hey, every wind tunnel that I've ever seen looks like a trumpet. Does that have that on there somewhere? You know, it's
well, this little thing down here, this ductwork, is the best thing he's got that looks like a trumpet. I suggested maybe he think about putting the fan on the backside of the airfoil and putting some flow straighteners up here. So he thought that was interesting. And I asked him what if he knew what a Reynolds number was. He said no. So that's how you scale wind tunnel measurements. So if you don't know what a Reynolds number is, but you know, he's just a freshman. So hopefully he'll be back next year with a better version. We'll see.
Can
I've been
they,
doing this for the
can
last
they
3 or
do
4
the,
years.
can they do the same thing? Multiple years?
Yeah, sure. Some of them
Oh.
had,
Just improve on it?
yeah, some of them had been there 3 or 4 years with the same topic, and they had kept improving it. And each year they would say what they wanted to do to make it better.
Nice.
So, and then some of these folks go on. I guess there's a national competition this year. It's in Columbus, Ohio, in like the second week of May. So if anybody's out in Columbus in the second week of May and wants to go to the National Science Fair and see if there's a wind tunnel there. But this guy didn't make the cut, so he won't be going to.
Well, obviously not. He's splitting infinitive there on his explanation. He said to accurately measure. That's probably what got him disqualified.
I'm going to be real quiet.
Anyway, you got an up and coming aeronautical engineer here, I think. We'll see.
Well done, I think. Give the young man credit.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Give the young man credit.
What is it we're looking at there?
That was a wind tunnel from the
Science
Colorado
fair
State
project.
Colorado State Science Fair.
Wow, nice.
He had plexiglass he put around that too to keep the air contained. He didn't have it on there for the picture,
Ah, cool.
but he didn't bring the wind tunnel to the science fair. He just brought pictures because it was too big to haul around. So
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah.
here's what I was talking about. Every wind tunnel I've seen looks like this. Share. Oh, wait a minute. We got to open that up. Search wind tunnel. Wind tunnels on. I just downloaded the damn thing. Oh well. Oh, I hate this thing.
I know what you're talking about, Spark. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it looks like a trumpet. It's like a bellows looking thing. The
Yeah,
fan
they
is
put the fan behind the test body that they're going to measure, not out in front. It just stirs the air up. Something terrific.
I know how we can do it. I got that open. I can scroll
My
that.
goodness. Peter, good
Yeah,
to see you back, buddy. Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, we were wondering what happened to you a few weeks ago.
There's a bunch of them right there.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
That's in the National Air Force Museum, but there's another one, big trumpet.
Yeah, these are ones from the early 1900s.
Right. There's a 2-fan one. There's a little one in a box. But let's see, how do you quit sharing now? You gotta be
Sparky, you are the expert, man. You got to know.
only
If
share.
you don't know, the rest of us are in a
The
heap of
quit
trouble.
sharing button on my window when I share something. Don't
Oh,
you have that?
Yeah,
It's
you
on
gotta
my
go
other-
down to the green thing.
It's on my other screen. Stop share. There we go.
Frank Williams has a wind tunnel in his garage.
Wow. Used to be a guy in Charlotte that had one that took up biggest part of his garage, but he was trying to mimic Stellig and doing a bunch of wind tunnel tests on sailplane wings. We took a sailplane down there one time and he was going to test the wing for us. And he pushed the wrong button and the wing exploded. He said, well, I just put about 10 times the force on it that it would ever see in flight, but it couldn't handle it. I said, well, it was never intended to handle it. Good grief. That was kind of a bad deal, but we got through it.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the internet. I mean, it's one of the things we as judges were talking about was nowadays, if you're a kid and you want to do a science fair project, you just look on Google and get YouTube explanations on what to do and how to do it. And there's quite a few of them I found that are about
Hey,
wind
there's
tunnels and how to
somebody.
build one. And
Somebody behind you coming in.
Somebody's coming to see you, Mark.
Oh, it's a little one.
this is Blakey. You want to be on
That
TV?
That right there's precious, what that
You want
is.
to be on TV?
Yeah.
You want to see yourself?
There you go. Hi, baby.
Here, come here.
I'm out here.
Yeah,
I think
you
we
can
scared
run
her
away
away.
now.
Scared her away.
Hey,
Good night, Blakey.
close the door.
Sparky, be nice.
She's a doll.
Their dad is having a little surgery tomorrow, so they're staying with us tonight.
Oh, nice.
It's all good.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Right here. I didn't know where he was till he started rattling.
Hey there,
The
baby.
dog went and got a haircut today. Boy, he thinks he's a dapper Don now.
He probably is.
Boy, he is. He's a good looking little squirt, but
Yeah.
he knows it too, boy. I'm telling you, that dog's full of himself.
Every time my dog got a haircut, he went under the hit under.
There you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Howard,
Maybe
have
you
you
can
used the
try that.
ion batteries yet?
No, I haven't. I
Okay.
made some, and they're sitting there. And any day now, I'll try 'em.
I'm going to go straight to them.
Oh, you're going electric.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my word. I never
Well,
thought I'd hear this.
Well, I
Drum
got to
roll
learn about it.
here.
I got to learn about it.
That.
We'll see.
Howard, we got a convert we didn't even count on. Golly.
I'm going to learn something. I bought another Blue Max.
Oh,
Compare that to the two I have real quick and find out what's good or bad. But I'm going to learn things. There's things to learn, Howard.
well, they sure are.
Oh yeah.
So what stuff do you have so far?
I'm going to get a 3515, whatever KV, and a Theoretti and ion batteries and the Spin 66 and the Igor props and the Falcon props and stuff. I haven't got anything yet, but it's coming pretty soon.
Oh,
I'm going to use Dean's connectors. Now, I'd hope that's a good thing. I don't know.
they've fallen from favor
I know they have.
because, well, I'm still going to use the arming plug because it's the male that goes bad. The arming plug's a male. If it goes bad, you just throw it away and put another one in there.
That's my theory on that deal. But
Unless it goes bad in flight. I haven't seen them go bad in flight. Now I'm starting to worry about it. But
just watch your connections. If your connections start showing wear and tear, you might ought to change something.
well, yeah, they've got this one piece that's the spring, and if it breaks, you're out of luck.
Howard, I know you use 6 cells, so have you tried using the Igor's arming switch where you push the button and it goes ahead and charges the capacitors in the ESC, and then you plug it in, you don't get that arc. If you do that, then you never have, it never blackens the connection and you don't have anything to worry about.
Well, there's still stuff to worry about. It's the thing that broke on mine was where the battery plugged in, and there's the electricity wasn't on when the battery plugged in till the arming plug went in. So
okay,
so it's a mechanical problem. Now, as for the spark, it's not as bad with the Spin 66 as it is with the Castle that I was using before. It had a big spark.
my Castle had a big spark. Yeah.
Yeah, the Spin 66 doesn't. Now, I don't know about that. Now, so why I don't do that and charge it up slowly is I read that some of those ESCs will count the number of cells you have. And if it does this count too early when it's not up to full voltage, because you're charging the capacitor slowly with the resistor in the circuit, it might misread the number of cells. So that's why I shied away from using it. It seems to work okay without it.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. I hooked it up, didn't know any better. So I started using it when I started using 6 cells, and I've already had to replace a connector on 4 cells. So I said, well, I've connected the 6 cell as many times as I did the 4, and I haven't had any problem yet. But
let's see, which one would have a bigger spark?
the 6 cell. 6 cell would have a hotter spark. It probably wouldn't be any bigger, because you're still gonna have the same draw if you're still using the same ESC. You got the same resistance.
R equals I squared. I don't know. Is that a function of current or that's Eli the Iceman, isn't it?
Resistance is the same. The voltage is different, so it's going to be a hotter spark. But will it be any bigger? I don't know.
Hey, Mark. Which for a given power, does a 6 cell have more spark damage or a 4 cell?
I don't know. I've avoided going electric. One of the reasons is I used to say is to screw around with electronics all day at work. Why do I want to go home and screw around with electronics? Now I'm retired. I don't have that excuse anymore. But
yeah, that's right. Hey guys, let me get to the YouTube chats, and then I'm going to hand it off. It says Jose Manuel Alameda says, "Hi everyone. The guy from France is Matthew Perret." Let's see here. Let's go back up this way.
Must be the middle of the night over there.
Yeah.
3 o'clock.
Pete Timer, Brandon Kopic, and the rest of the Storm Chasers. Lots of nerves. Okay. And like sent from Aaron Carlisle. I never left the Duke, James Clark, whatever that is all about. Lots of control line in Florida. he never flew contest, just did wildcat learning at age 67. Wayne Rice says, a lot of information from you guys. Thanks for the information. See lots of vans flying in Mayo, Florida, whatever that's all about. And his cell phone has bad service, so he can't hold the Zoom room. And let's see here. We got to go here and go back this way. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I mean, these hangouts aren't that interesting or whatever. I mean, they don't do really well, but
Mhm.
let's see here. We got to edit this up before I do that. And we'll let that happen and save. All right, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to go to the after party. If you'd like to be part of that, you got to be a member of Stunt Hangar, and you go into the At the Bench thread and click on that, but you will have to log in to Zoom. So fair winds, tight lines. See ya. All right, we're in the after party setting.
Sparky, did you get that wing to work today? The